Okay, guys, we need to talk about Kevin. I just got done seeing it, and well, for the first 15, 20 minutes, I found it pretty off-putting. I even tweeted, I'm like, this movie's trying, like, it's actively trying to be bad. Please improve. And boy, did it fucking improve before the end. This movie is pretty great. Um, this is a weird one to talk about. It's kind of like it's an evil kid flick. You put it simply, it's an evil kid flick, like um, The Good Son or Orphan. It has a lot of similarities with both of those. I haven't seen The Good Son in a long time, but it's the same premise. It's just a kid that is just born fucking evil. And I think of Orphan, it's kind of the same thing. I don't remember Orphan that well. I knew there was like a big twist. Oh wait, I kind of remember the twist. But anyways, the similarities to Orphan I see is that in that film, the husband thought the wife was crazy because the kid would act like an angel otherwise, and then when it was just between the mom and the kid was just the devil. And that is kind of like that is what we need to talk about Kevin is, except it approaches it as like a very serious drama. So it's kind of like a really rare film that I would categorize as a horror drama, and I can't think of any other movies like that. Maybe the closest thing I could think of is like The Exorcist, because it had like those dramatic elements, like the priest and this and that. But like this feels like a full-on drama, but it also to me felt like a horror film because it was extremely creepy, and it feels like one of those evil kid movies, which are horror thrillers. Now, this has some kind of thriller element to it, but it's really more of a drama with horror in it, which I found to be really, really cool. Um, so, yeah, if you don't want to know anything more, I will just say that this is pretty amazing flick and kind of like a horror drama, which is something I don't think I've seen that much, and I thought it was great. Now, like I said at the beginning, it's really off-putting because it seems very stylish for no reason, and it jumps around in time, and it feels like the way it jumps around in time is for no reason. Like it goes from after the big event to before to when this kid is being born, and it's just jumping around, and you haven't really been introduced to these characters yet. And it starts with like this weird. At first, I didn't know whether it was a dream or not, but like the opening shot is like this weird dream where this mom is getting splashed with like all this red stuff while it looks like she's at a concert or something. And I honestly, I still don't know whether that was a dream or her remembering when she was young at a concert, maybe when she met her husband. But it doesn't really matter. Like that first 15 or 20 minutes, it's kind of off putting, but you'll get past it. If you stick with the movie past that, you're going to be like, wow, like this movie gets pretty damn good. Um, the mom is Tilda Swinton. The dad is John C. Riley, and the son is played by two different actors who I feel bad I didn't look up their names, and I'm not gonna look them up right now. I feel bad about it because the son in this film is what makes it really really good. Um, both there's a younger version of him because the movie flips around in time a lot. There's a younger version of him, and then there's like the teenage version of him, and both versions of him. One, thumbs up to the casting, whoever did the casting in this, because it looks like it's the same boy. Like you look at the version of him that's like, like I think they have the same boy play him from like kind of like 7 years old to like 11 years old or something, and he looks just like the one that is 15 years old or 15 to 18, I think, in it. Like they look like the same boy. Like you would think they must be like brothers or something. Like I don't know. I didn't look it up, but and not just that, but this kid plays evil so great. Which an older actor, it's probably not that hard to do. So for the older, version of him, it's maybe not that surprising. But the younger one plays evil just as well. Like just these dead stares and the way he treats his mom and stuff. And oh man, it was just, the movie is very, very creepy. But the way it plays out, and I'm not gonna try to spoil it too much, but at the same time, there's not too much to spoil because I don't know, it kind of gives away the big thing that happens right away, in a sense. But basically, this kid is evil from the day he's born, and he treats his mom like, he just very evil, like cunning, diabolical stuff to his mom all the time. And, she tries to keep loving him, and he keeps just hurting her over and over. But when he's around other people, he acts like an angel. And so the husband, played by John C. Reilly, he's just like, he thinks his wife is nuts. But they don't play this like for like a fun thriller type thing like they do in Orphan. Like they treat this like this actually happened. Which is weird to me because this is not the type of thing I don't think happens very often. I went into this movie expecting something completely different. I did not expect an evil kid flick. I thought it was going to be about a school shooting, and you would find out the reasons why this kid, went, this far. Like, and I expected the typical things, like he was getting bullied, he was like an outcast in school, and it's nothing like that at all. The kid is just an evil little prick from day one. From the day he's born, the kid is evil. So they go that route where the kid is just evil, which surprised me. I wasn't expecting it because I thought this was a drama, which it is. It's a horror drama, which I don't know. It's just so weird to me. But I don't know. He just, that's just the way he is, And he's just constantly doing these terrible things and acting nice around other people. And I don't know if I want to give away like some of the bigger things that he does, but no, I really don't. I really don't. He treats his mom so terribly, and he comes up with these really, really evil schemes and stuff to do to her as it goes along. And John C. Reilly is just this nice guy, and they don't overplay it much. Like he just keeps, like his wife will tell him stuff, and he'll be like, "Oh, he's just a boy." Like he believes her at first, but then as it goes on, he's like, "Are you serious? Like this is our son. Like you need to seek help." But like they never overdo it at all. At least that aspect of it. And I suppose there are people like this kid that are just born with these very antisocial personalities. I don't like to say good or evil because I don't know if I believe. I still don't know whether I believe in stuff like that. Like I really feel like people become the way they are. Like the serial killers out there become the way they are for a reason. Like there's something wrong in their hardwiring to begin with, but I don't know if I call it evil. But this movie goes that route and says he's just kind of, that's just the way he was. Um, it is his hardwiring, but whether you want to call it evil or not, that's up to you. But I mean, just it's a great performance from the kid, or the two kids in it that play him, that play Kevin. Tilda Swinton is great in it. John C. Reilly, he's got a very understated performance where he's just kind of in the background. He shows up and he's like, "What the hell is going on?" And he's a good kid. And like this is John C. Reilly just doing straight dramatic role. It doesn't require much of him, but I'll tell you, as it went along, I was like, what happened to John C. Reilly? Because like in the parts in the present, he's not around. Put it that way. And I was just like, I want to see how it ended between him and Tilda Swinton, because you gotta think like this was tearing apart their marriage. So I was like, what was happening between them, like what happens between them at the end. And I was worried that they weren't going to wrap up that part of the story. But I'll just say that I don't think you'll be disappointed with where it goes near the end. I was especially, you know, I thought the ending was especially powerful. Uh, just the last couple scenes in the movie, I was just like, damn, it sent that movie over the top for me. Like, and it turned it into, like, I was already leaning like to say this is like a horror film more than it is anything else. Some people might disagree with me, but as it's going on, I'm like, this is like Orphan or The Good Son or other movies like this. But as it started to go towards the end and like the last couple of scenes, I'm like, yeah, this is like one of those movies. But then, in the last couple like scenes after that, I was like, this is also a really good drama about a mom who, you know, you're gonna love your son no matter what, even if he is the devil. And you know, how does she deal with this son that this her son has rejected her from when the moment he could speak, and even before then, like her son has always rejected her and tried to humiliate her. And it's just, it's like one of those movies, but it's just a very creepy and very serious and very adult take on like one of those types of evil kid movies where it looks at how does this really affect the mom. Um, it was based on a novel. I forgot the author's name, but and I don't know how closely it follows the novel, but it's and it was directed by some director. Her name was Lynn Ramsey, which she's done nothing I've ever heard of. I think she's a British director. She's done like only a couple other movies, but her style in this is a little weird at first. It's a little weird and off-putting at first, but it just, as it goes on, I was just really drawn in to the mom's plight and her son's performance. You know, both of the kids that played her son. Um, I'll just give you like one example of something crazy that happens, and this is not as good as some of the other stuff, so it's not like a spoiler. But like she walks in on him jerking off, and then instead of him like stopping him, oh whoa whoa, you know, like he's like standing in the bathroom just jerking off, you know, and she like walks, she's just like, oh, you know, and he just like turns and looks at her and gives her the most evil fucking look ever, and he keeps beating off. I was like, oh my god, like just the way, you know, like the whole time he's just sitting there like, I'm gonna fuck with you, mom, you know, I just want to make your life hell, and no one else will believe you because, you know, because he acts normal around other people for the most part. But it's that type of movie, but taking the drama of what the mom is going through seriously. Half of it is her. Half of it is after he does something terrible, and her having to go on with life after that. And you know, people in the neighborhood, you know, look at her like she's this monster, and she gets a new job, and you know, the people there look at her like a monster, and it takes it very seriously from that perspective, like what it would be like for a parent whose child has done something absolutely terrible. I don't feel like I've spoiled this at all. I really haven't. I mean, I haven't seen the trailer for the film. I knew nothing about it going in. I just kind of knew sort of what the premise was, but it was just a completely different film from what I expected. And I really don't feel like I spoiled it. Like I only gave you like a little tidbit here and there, and you get to see the rest when you see it, which you should definitely see it if you're a fan of just dark. Most people would call this like a dark thriller or something, but to me, it's a horror. It's a straight-on horror film for adults with real characters, especially the mom and the dad. Like they're just, I felt like they were real characters. So, call me crazy, but I call this a horror drama, and pretty damn amazing for a movie where in the first 10 minutes I wanted to turn it off. I was like, this is so bad. It was like just this stupid stylish nonsense and jumping around in time for no reason, to the end where I was just like, wow, holy shit, wow. I'm gonna give it 5 stars. So I say you gotta see this one. See, we need to talk about Kevin.